Alright, there are two big weather stories going on across the country, and the first of which is Winter Storm Sadie, that even though it's mid-April, is going to be bringing some pretty decent snowfall to both the Midwest and Northeast throughout the day today and a little bit tomorrow. The second story, if I click through here, is going to pop into the southeast on early Sunday morning, where you are going to see some really severe weather, some thunderstorms, possibly some tornadoes building through the southeast throughout Sunday and into Monday, where you could just see that is a massive area of just heavy rainfall, severe thunderstorms, and the potential for some tornadoes. Now, before I get into these two stories, I will say I make these forecast videos every single morning, so if you're somebody who enjoys following the weather, then you can subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's go up and take a look at Winter Storm Sadie first, because it's bringing some decent snowfall to the Midwest right now. You can see it came in really early this morning at about 1 a.m. This is Friday morning. You can see the heaviest snowfall rates are in southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and northern parts of Illinois as well. As we move through here, the snowfall rates are actually looking a little bit lighter than they did yesterday in yesterday's forecast. This right here was showing some of that dark blues that we're still going to be seeing over southern Iowa, but they got a little bit lighter. We're still going to be getting some decent snowfall in parts of northern Illinois, northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio. We're still going to be getting some snowfall, but not as crazy as the forecast was saying yesterday. You can see in the southern parts of the states, just pretty much rain coming in, some heavier rainfall rates moving through, but really this storm has it's weakened a little bit since yesterday's forecast, and part of the reason for that is the temperatures just got a little bit warmer. Yesterday we were seeing this whole area was below freezing and some places well below freezing. Now it's looking a little bit warmer, which isn't going to allow that heavy snowfall to accumulate. So this is now moving into 1 p.m. Friday, about right now. You can see that low has moved between Illinois and Indiana, rainfall in southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and then that snowfall has really isolated itself to southern Michigan and northern Ohio. Again, that's 1 p.m. Friday, about right now, and the low is moving through the Midwest before it moves off into the Northeast. Now, let's look at those temperatures that I was just telling you about that are a little bit warmer than they were originally showing. Yesterday, at about this time, this whole area was showing this blue color, and that blue color indicates below freezing temperatures, which is pretty much what you need if you want to get snow. This blue coloring was in southern Iowa and northern Missouri earlier this morning. That's why they did pick up some good snowfall. But you can see throughout the day today, which is when majority of the Midwest, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio are getting snowfall, it's pretty warm now. It's in the high 30s to low to mid 40s. You can see Indianapolis, 46 degrees. You're not going to be picking up all that much snow when your temperature is 46 degrees. And any snow you do get, it's probably going to melt pretty quickly. So the second it falls, have your little snowball fight, possibly the last one of the season, because it's probably not going to take too long for that snow to melt. You can see parts of southern Michigan, northern Indiana, and Ohio do still have that below freezing temperatures, and that's why they are still picking up some of those heavier snowfall rates. And also notice, this is the low right there. That's Winter Storm Sadie. The winds aren't all that extreme around this low anymore. Yesterday, these winds were really kicking around this low, and it was causing a ton of lake effect snow. Not seeing as much of that today. It's going to be interesting to see if the low does intensify over the Northeast, because yesterday's forecast was showing that the winds really started kicking up. We got some lake effect and some decent snowfall in yesterday's Northeast forecast. We'll see in a minute if that holds true today. This is the total accumulated snowfall that the Midwest is going to pick up with this one. You can see southern Iowa, northern Missouri, really the bullseye of snow accumulations, getting about 6 to 8 inches in some places, while basically all of southern Iowa picking up 2 to 4 inches of snow. And then that heavy snow accumulation builds into Illinois as well, picking up 8 inches in the northern parts of the state. And then you can see this strip of about 2 to 5 inches going into Indiana, Ohio, and southern Michigan. It's really just this super defined strip. The low just moves in a very straight line, and the reason for that is the jet stream is basically going straight west to east and just pushing the storm right through the Midwest, straight into the Northeast, which is actually a good thing for the Northeast. The last major snowstorm that hit the Midwest, it brought about 1.5 to 2 feet of snow up here in Michigan and Wisconsin. But then the low just moved straight up into Canada and the Northeast totally missed out. Well, this one is moving into the Northeast, and the first signs of the snow moving in are at about 1 p.m. today. It's about right now. This snow, Winter Storm Sadie, is working its way into the Northeast. We're starting to see some snow build up into northwestern Pennsylvania, the very western sides of New York, and it's pretty light accumulations, but hey, we're in mid-April, so we can't exactly complain about getting some snowfall, as light as it may be. Let's take a good look and see if this low really intensifies though, because that's what I was showing yesterday, and just based on the snow accumulations you see here, it looks like this low is intensifying. When it first moves in, you see these really light blues. That's barely even snowfall. That's just kind of some novelty snowflakes. When you get into these darker blue colors, that's when you can pick up some decent snow. And you can see it's isolated to northern Pennsylvania, southern New York, and western New York, getting some of those higher snowfall rates, while southern locations where the temperatures remain just a little bit too warm are just going to be getting rain. And then this actually intensifies further as it gets closer to the coast. The reason for that, one, it really has to do with the circulation around a low pressure. If you don't know, winds around a low pressure spin counterclockwise. So that does two things to bring in some pretty awesome snowfall for the Northeast. On the left side, it's bringing that cold air down from Canada, bringing the cold air down that you need if you want to get some snow. On the right side, it is actually pushing in moisture. Once that moisture comes in, makes some clouds, and then clouds make precipitation, you know that. And when that precipitation hits this cold air, you get some snowfall. So it's really the circulation around this low that is driving the snow accumulations. You got cold air, you got moisture, mixing together, creating some snow. And you can see it's actually some pretty great snowfall rates for many states in the Northeast. You got, lighter snow in New York, but then some heavy snow in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and then working its way into southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire. This low, it is a quick mover. We can see it first shows up at about 1 p.m. on Friday, about right now, and then it is gone by about 1 p.m. on Saturday. So this is really going to be a quick storm. It did the same thing for the Midwest, moved through very fast, and really the last chance to be picking up snow is going to be at about 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So really starting right now to 7 a.m. Saturday morning, select locations in the Northeast will be picking up some decent snowfall, where you can see Saturday morning, southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, most of Massachusetts, majority of New York, still getting some snowfall at this point before the low moves off and actually intensifies over the Atlantic, but that's not going to affect us, so I won't really dive into that. Let's just take a look at the temperatures in the Northeast as we move through. Again, I said Friday at about this time into Saturday morning. That's the bulk of this storm when it's moving in, and you're going to be picking up some snow. So Friday at about 5 p.m., you can see this cold air already kind of moving down, and you can see on the left side of the screen, follow that low right there. That's Winter Storm Sadie, and you can see those areas where the snow first showed up, northern Pennsylvania, western New York, southern New York. That's where the temperatures are cold enough to start getting some snow. And you can see as this low moves through, look at that cold air come down. A lot more cold air than we were seeing in the Midwest. Maine, you're in the teens. New York, you're below freezing. Vermont, New Hampshire, below freezing. So that's why there is some snow associated with Winter Storm Sadie as it moves through the Northeast. And this picture right here really just shows exactly what I was talking about earlier. On the left side of this low, you can see these winds pulling cold air down from Canada, that cold Arctic air, pulling it into New York and Pennsylvania. And then on the right side of the low, you have these winds pushing in moisture. So it's those two features that are working together to create a pretty good snowstorm for the Northeast in mid-April. We're getting some snow in mid-April, so even if it's not a 2-foot snowstorm, it's pretty good. You can't complain. And then that low is going to move off exactly. Saturday morning starts to move off, and through Saturday night, it's going to be cold in the Northeast, so we'll see if you guys can hold on to some of that snow you're getting. Now let's look at the snowfall as it moves in. Really first shows up throughout the day Friday, and then moving into Saturday night, this is what you'll have picked up. It is showing a little bit less than the forecast was showing yesterday, but you can see northern Pennsylvania, you still got that area where you're getting 6 to 8 inches of snow, and then Massachusetts and Connecticut have a couple bullseyes getting 6 to 8 inches of snow, while majority of this strip of the Northeast probably in the 2 to 5 inch range. And just like in the Midwest, it's interesting to see how just perfect of a strip of snow this is. You don't often see just one straight line. And again, it's because the jet stream, straight west-east, just pushing the storm in a straight line horizontally across the country. And let's go to the jet stream so that you can actually see what I'm talking about there. You can see how perfectly straight the jet stream is. This is showing Friday at about 1 p.m. when that storm is really moving into the Northeast. And the jet stream is just going straight west to east. That's why that strip of snow is just a perfect line going all the way from Iowa to basically Massachusetts. It's pretty cool to see. The reason I'm showing this map though is so you can also see this system that's going to be moving into the southeast on Sunday that could be bringing some tornadoes. And I think this is actually the big story of this forecast. And as it turns out, it starts as a little cutoff low in Southern California. There you can see it as a cutoff low in Southern California. Keep your eye on this as it moves across the country. It's going to start to deepen a little bit as it gets into Texas, and then it continues as this little dip in the jet stream as it moves through Texas and then through the southeast, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. This is showing Sunday, that little dip in the jet stream. It doesn't look all that crazy, but it's going to be bringing some crazy severe weather. And it is a little bit encouraging to see that we're not getting these yellow colorings in there. When that happens, like we were seeing on Easter, for example, that's when you can get like 100 tornadoes in a day. Still the possibility of some tornadoes though. You can see it first moves in at about 7 a.m. on Sunday. We get some severe thunderstorms working their way into Mississippi and Alabama. That's some pretty heavy rainfall right there. That could lead to some flooding. And then you can see throughout the day Sunday, it just spreads out to the entire region. Starts getting these 0.4 inches per hour of rainfall in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, and then working its way into Tennessee as well. It really spreads out over the entire southeast. And this is going to be a big one to follow. This is going to be a big severe weather maker. And we just had some bad tornadoes on Easter. So let's hope we don't get a second round of some of that tornadic activity. And it really lasts all day on Sunday. And then right here it's showing Monday at 1 a.m. You can see it actually organizes into just one strip that goes from Florida all the way through Alabama, Georgia, and then South Carolina, where we're going to be getting severe thunderstorms, possibly tornadoes throughout the day Sunday, working into Monday morning. It's going to be a big one to follow. And it's interesting to see this map right here. I'll drag it over a little bit so you can see this low. That's the one that started in Southern California and then is working its way across the country. And just watch what happens to the temperatures here. You can see most of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, you got that green, yellow color. That's indicating maybe mid 40s to mid 50s. And as this low moves through, what it does is, again, the circulation around the low. On the right side, it is pushing in that warm Gulf of Mexico air. It's warm and moist. and that is just pushing it right into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, getting the temperatures up into the mid 60s to mid 70s, maybe even 80s in some places. As this low moves through, you can see these winds just pushing in that warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. So the big thing with that one, obviously rainfall, severe thunderstorms, and possibly tornadoes. This is how much rain we're expected to get in the southeast just throughout Saturday to Monday. This is showing northern parts of Mississippi could be getting over 3 inches of rain, maybe 3 inches of rain in select areas of Alabama, maybe 2 inches of rain in Georgia and South Carolina. But as you can see, it really spreads out over the entire region. So this could lead to some flooding concerns. That's a lot of rain to be getting in just a couple of days. So that could lead to some flash flooding. And then again, the other thing we're going to be talking about is those tornadoes. Hopefully we don't get another round of tornadoes like we saw on Easter. Yeah, United States has some pretty crazy weather. We've got tornadoes that can pick up houses. Pretty soon we're going to have hurricanes that have more energy than a nuclear bomb. And then we're going to be getting into wildfire season in California, where the flames can literally move at the speed of, they can travel a football field per second. So lots of exciting weather in the United States. I talk about it every single day on this channel. So if you want to stay updated with events like tornadoes, hurricanes, and wildfire, you can subscribe to my channel. And you can also check out my forecast playlist, where I do these forecast videos every single morning, and I've possibly already done another update on these storms by the time you're watching this video. Thanks for watching.